My name's Francesca Froy and I work at the LEAD programme at the OECD. And I'm just going to give you a brief idea about a publication we're just bringing out called Breaking Out of Silos, Joining Up Policy Locally. Most of us are aware of the policy silos that exist at the local level. The fact that employment agencies don't work with local colleges, for example. They don't work with economic development agencies. The fact that often there's a very fragmented situation with different agencies delivering different programmes and services and rarely joining up together to agree common objectives for their work. In the LEAD programme, we've seen over the last few decades, we've seen many partnerships being developed at the local level and many joint local and regional strategies. But often this really fails to deliver proper joined up, aligned working. People can sit in partnerships without necessarily changing the way that they deliver their own programmes and services. So often partnerships deliver very useful initiatives at the local level, but they don't really change the way that mainstream policies get delivered. And at the same time, strategies are very often a very long wish list of actions that could be taken at the local level, but a real lack of prioritisation to decide what the key activities should be to really turn a local community around. In the context of this crisis, this is a real problem, not only because resources are wasted with fragmented local delivery, duplication, but also because it means that communities can't really get together to agree on a common approach to trying to recreate growth at the local level and make sure that that growth helps all the members of the local population. This process of going to actually get more alignment at the local level is a very difficult issue. It doesn't come easily. To go from a situation of indifference where agencies may be aware of each other's policies but they don't really want to join forces, to a situation of real policy alignment and prioritisation can really involve a lot of conflict because it means getting rid of duplication. It means that looking at the fact that often agencies have overlapping boundaries and activities. So it can be quite a difficult process. And in the LEAD programme, we've done a study in 11 different countries to understand what the factors are that might actually help local actors to get through this process, to really try and align their local policies. And we found that 5 factors were very important, both cooperation at the national level, so in this case between ministries responsible for employment, skills, economic development. Also cooperation at the local level and the way that local governance works. Local capacities and resources play a role, as do labour market conditions. But the most important issue is policy flexibility. So what we found was very important was the ability for local agencies, local branches of national ministries, their ability to adapt programmes and adapt services to the priorities that were agreed in partnership with other actors. This is interesting because it means it's not just local actors that have a role in trying to better integrate their policies, but national policymakers too also need to think about the fact that the way they manage their policies nationally might have an impact on the ability of local actors to create joined up approaches at the local level. When it comes together, when people really manage to align their policies, it can have a dramatic effect. So we looked in Texas, for example, at the lower Rio Grande Valley, where 20 years ago there was a situation of about 20% unemployment. It was a kind of a backwater region in the United States. But they've actually managed to turn around, they've managed to attract considerable inward investment, they've transformed their economy into a rapid response manufacturing centre in the United States. But what's interesting is they've done that really for an integrated approach. So it's been a very skills-led strategy, it's been about human resources, it's been about attracting firms through good quality people. And to do this, they've built a new community college, they've worked with schools, they've worked with the local workforce investment board. They've done really good information and data collection. And the result is a much more healthy community where they've brought down unemployment levels to under 10% in some parts of the region, which is a great success for this area. So it just shows that, in fact, when the going gets tough, local agencies can really come together, and let's hope that one of the good outcomes of the crisis is perhaps that there might be more integrated approaches locally.